Hey guys, I'm back again. Um, I'm laughing because I know last time I was here, I said I'd post a video like 2 days later, and that didn't happen. Lo and behold, 2 weeks later, here I am. So what do I have for you? What do I have for you today? Today I decided to do a little more on the fly. Um, I decided I would go over a news article from the LA Times posted in April 29th, 2020, about a month ago, on the psychological effects of quarantine, specifically that of coronavirus. Um, this will be interesting, but before I dive into that, let me give you another 2 week update. Yes. Okay, so where am I at? Haircut, a lot shorter. Um, I recently touched up on it because I had an interview on Tuesday, which didn't go as planned, unfortunately. But hey, that's what that is. Uh, and since leaving SeaWorld and having my part-time jobs, I've done a number of big interviews which have crashed and burned. So this one, while it did hurt, it wasn't terrible. Pick yourself up, lick your wounds, you move on. Hey, that's what it is. Um, on the good side, my haircutting skills are getting better. Although I hate the meticulousness that I have afterwards of it because I'm a bit of an OCD when it comes to hair. That's why I don't have very much hair on me in general because I either pick at it or whatever and I just shave it off. That's just a little nitpick, tidbit fun about me. Also, I wear hats sometimes. It helps. Um, my walks have been great. I don't know if you can see it. That angle, you can see it. I have a tan line from wearing a face, and I can't see it on that. Maybe it's light. Here, you can definitely see it. Oh my gosh, that's really visible, at least from here, from this angle. Um, so my walks, if they're not done either really early in the morning or close to sunset, but not when it's dark, I won't do it because this is getting worse. I don't like it. I Another small tidbit fact on my dad's very dark skinned. He's uh, Pacific Islander to the fullest, where he's dark brown. My mom is Filipino from the mainland, Luzon, and they're very fair skinned. Words that leave me basically chameleon anywhere in between. So during the winter months, November, December, January, I look more Chinese. Towards the summer, I tend to look more Mexican, if you will, or maybe Pacific Islander, whichever, either or. That's my skin differentiation. I can have, maybe you can kind of see from here. This is not bad. This is about a 4 out of 10 as far as the what's the word I'm looking for? Contrast comparison. But believe me, there have been complete black and whites. That kind of, I don't know. We'll see. Um, on that note, I've been walking out with more tank tops, get more sun. Figure the sun might help my mood a bit, help my psychology, which is what's going on. So yeah, walks have kind of taken a dip. Um, my overall daily routines have taken a hit as I. It's hard to admit, but saying this in front of the video will help. Um, so I'll get into these swings where I don't want to do anything. I'll go in my room, I'll drink beer, I'll lay down, whatever, and I just won't do anything for hours. 2, 3, 4 hours. But then there'll be other times where suddenly I'll just have a burst of motivation, and suddenly I'll start doing push-ups. I'll get out on a walk. I'll read for a solid hour straight and knock pages out, and then I'll turn around and do nothing. So it's a bit hit or miss. Anyways, on that note, overall, I can definitely feel myself kind of teetering. That's what it is. Uh, Even despite all the things that I read on, and I try to give reason behind to all these factors, although I see it coming and you do your most to kind of be resilient, but it's still, these things still kind of wear on you. It's just what it is. Everyone to varying degrees. Maybe I'll count my blessings and say maybe I'm a little more resilient. Maybe my financial situation isn't as bad, but I'm still feeling the effects. Oh, it's kind of funny. Small tangent. I cleaned my room the other day. I took out about 2 full trash bags worth of junk just thrown out, and I got about a bag of clothes I'm ready to donate once Goodwill opens again. But while I was doing that, I watched Avatar on Disney Plus, and watching I don't remember his name, but the main character, the guy in the wheelchair, and he was doing his video logs when he come out of his wearing his avatar. I thought that was kind of funny, where he's like losing his mind. He can't tell the difference between reality anymore. Anyways, on to this article. I was hoping to look for something that was a little more top 10 and then I could just check off the list, but this article was kind of nice. It was more of a narrative, whatever. But I was able to kind of break down lists from there. So, where do we go? So we are in the midst of a pandemic, the coronavirus, and our more or less approach to these things is through quarantine. I'll spare the science in that, but we are in a quarantine. And the effects of the quarantine, so being in the quarantine for a long period of time, will have these effects. And these sound pretty standard. Well, I mean, not standard. I guess standard. Anyway, I'll just list them. Anxiety, depression, anger, irritability, insomnia, and PTSD. Now, just to briefly comment on all those, I can't say I've experienced PTSD or anything, so I'll respectfully cross that off the list. Anxiety, I guess you could say, yeah, I guess I do. Mostly from the fact of not making money. That'll tie into key stressors, which I'll talk about in a bit. Depression, like I mentioned, I'm feeling that anger and irritability. I think those go a little bit hand in hand. These relate obviously to politically motivated events. What's a quick example? Michigan, I forgot what week. Right-wing militia stormed the state capitol demanding that they open the economy. It's nuts. I want to wait on that because there's the key stressors I think also help and kind of explain some of these things. Insomnia. This is something I know I've been getting. Instead of falling asleep, say if I was working at Burlington around 7, 8, 9 o'clock, I'm up till 11, almost midnight sometimes. It's nuts. While I'm not exactly waking up late either, like I mentioned, my walks are taking a hit because I'm not waking up enough in time to eat breakfast and go for a walk. It's not a huge thing, but instead of waking up at 4:50, I'm waking up at 6:50. That's the difference for a walk, and to 20 minutes outside gives me this. Gross. Anyways, so just bear with, I guess I should have mentioned the key stressors first, because then that would help the effects. So key stressors are boredom, frustration, inadequate supplies, limited information, and financial loss. Now that we have this kind of picture of it, of the causes of the into the quarantine, that's not, how do I say? Sorry, let me scratch that. Key stressors resulting from the quarantine eventually outpour into the effects of it, right? So because of financial loss, we may have anxiety. At least in my case, I do. Boredom leads to depression. Frustration leads to anger and irritability politically. Inadequate supplies, that's anger for whatever reason, because people can't buy toilet paper or whatever. Inadequate supplies is anxiety. Limited information, that's another anger thing. Easy. Again, without getting too politics, the whole Trump thing, people not believing in Fauci or whatever it is. And, yeah, so these things kind of, obviously, I feel like I could be elaborating much more on these. Maybe I should be. I don't know. Maybe because I just don't want to ramble on into it, because I know I can. So again, boredom, frustration, inadequate supplies, limited information, financial loss. The effects of these: anxiety, depression, anger, irritability, insomnia, PTSD also. Now, another thing that the article in the LA Times mentioned is that this kind of happens in 2 phases. And I think this could be elaborated a bit more, but here's what they presented from the beginning is a more or less kind of 2-phase thing. You start off strong and you be resilient, and then at some point you just take a dip. For me, I definitely started off strong within the first 5-6 weeks, and then like I said, week 7, yeah, I took a dip hard, I guess you could say. Now that I think about it, my last video I said I was on week 7, so 2 weeks ago, 7, 8, 9. I'm going on week 9, going on week 10. Yeah, definitely taking a dip. I haven't hit rock bottom, so to speak, but definitely taking a dip. All these things kind of happening. Where else can I go with this? I can go a number of ways on this. As far as San Diego goes, there's kind of a viral video going around of this lady who wants to get in the Gellenfields is like a small-time independent supermarket, and she's definitely the type to not want to wear a mask, but she tries to tell one of the employees, or as she's entering, the employee tells her, excuse me, another coping mechanism for quarantine. Also does detrimental effects to my physical health. Anyways, Jennifer Phillips, this lady tries to walk in. She doesn't want to wear a mask. She's definitely the type to kind of play the oppressor card. Not to say that she's in the same boat as, say, liberty, oppression, F the government stuff. But she definitely tries to go in, not wanting to wear a mask. The employee outside tells her, who's cleaning the carts, excuse me, I need to wear a mask. And she goes, I'm sorry, who do I talk to? Because I have the condition where I don't need to wear a mask. The employee calls the manager out. Manager comes out, and she says, excuse me, I have a condition. I am not allowed to wear a mask. The manager goes, well, it's our policy that we cannot let you in without a mask. It's for the safety of others. She goes, well, I have private things that I need to shop for, and you're not letting me shop for them. This is discrimination. And he goes, no, we're not discriminating to you. We're not discriminating against you. It's a simple fact that you're not wearing a mask. There's not any thing behind it, but you're not wearing a mask. I can offer you someone to shop for you. You can give us your card, and you can tell us what to get for you. And she said, no, these are private, which, by the way, that argument doesn't make any sense, because even if she was to go to a cashier, the cashier would see what she was trying to buy. And then she tries this whole thing with there's among that right circle, there's the argument that the ADA, HPAA, acts kind of defend people from, like not wearing a mask. And there's some truth to that. But there's a split thing that this lady did. So that right-wing notion has some truth to it, in the sense that the ADA or the HIPAA or whatever, that'll stop you from getting a ticket or something. That makes sense. That's almost that, in those right-wingers say that's like oppression. I wouldn't call it oppression, but fine. You don't want to get picked on by Big Johnny Law, that's fine. Get your way out of the ticket. That's kind of nice information to know. But the line that this lady drew is, look, you don't have to go to that store. And they are providing reasonable accommodation, meaning she can shop online, she can have an interpersonal shopper, or like the manager said, you can give her a list and we'll charge you. You can wait outside, but you just can't go without a mask. This ultimately falls on the whole business, the whole no shoes, no shirt, no service. And of course, this lady, the Karen, if you will, just stands there embarrassed. And the cherry on top is the guy who was cleaning the cart. He had a radio, and he was dancing to Michael Jackson, by the way, cleaning the cart, and he's having a grand old time just doing his job. And the lady's like, she's trying to put a damper on him. She's like, excuse me, I'm glad you're happy, but not happy that you're not letting me shop. And he's just like, I'm sorry, what do you want me to do? Like, he's having a grand old time. Sorry, you're being a Karen, so he's just going to do his thing. And that was the cherry on top. Anyways, is it worth kind of applying some of these principles from the article? Maybe, maybe not. I guess this is my way to kind of, again, cope with things on top of, say, drinking and playing mindless video games. To kind of get my mind off all these things, off the job hunt, off the financial stress, which, by the way, I filed for taxes. I'm getting about $1,200 back, which is about the same as Trump's socialist check. it'll get me through about 3 weeks. And while I haven't filed for unemployment on principled reasons, I'm gonna come close to filing soon because how much more debt can I rack up? Anyways, I think this helps again identifying the effects and the kind of key stressors, because once you see it, you can hopefully anyone who's watching this, anyone of you guys can kind of grasp the situation. If you can kind of recognize how you feel, that's a little more edge you have, a little more control you have. It's not going to stop the dam from overflowing, if you will, but it might give you that day or two, or maybe even help. I don't know. Maybe you'll only spiral out 3 hours of the day instead of 6. I think that's an improvement. I was listening to Linkin Park, One More Light. That's a deep album. I think I talked about this in another video. Chester Bennington killed himself after he made that album. And if you listen to it, Linkin Park's a rock band. That last album, they took a turn kind of more pop-ish. More, it's not too poppy like Katy Perry / Taylor Swift. But it's definitely like a deeper emotional one. If you sit there, I'll recommend you. Linkin Park, One More Light. Sit there, listen to it, soak it in, because damn, you could tell he was sad. And there are a lot of themes throughout the song that you can kind of relate to. That's it for now. I guess I gave myself a lot of material I could build off of, enough to make a video tomorrow or in 2 weeks. Yeah, that'll be it for now. See you guys hopefully sooner than later.